Today the same lesson, how, when and where, and we are going to discuss about module 3 in this chapter, right? Here, before going to enter into our topic, first I will give you a brief introduction about to yesterday's topic. In that we discussed about the which dates are important, and next one more topic is how do we periodize, right? In that periodization, you know already Britishers entered in India. I said the same total story yesterday, right? So in that periodize means the Britishers' main concept is divide and rule policy. First we should understand that, right? So based on that, they divided as per their historians our history into three segments. In that, Hindus, Muslims and Britishers, right? So that as per that periodization, they felt everything will be easy, ruling will be easy, administration will be easy, and each and everything to become easy. Okay, so that is about the periodization, and as per our history also we have three segments. As per that we are learning, right? So based on that, the periodization in the each and every sector, each and every situation. Okay, in our life I have given so many examples to you. Abdul Kalam's life, and human life means from childhood to old age, right? So those are the examples of that periodization. So today we are going to enter into the module 3, that is colonial. What is colonial? What is colonial? Children, yesterday I have given you a task, collect the information about Lord Wellesley. So here I am giving you a brief information about him. Lord Wellesley is a British politician, and his duration is 1798 to 1805. He worked as a Governor General of India under the British rule, and he was granted the Irish peerage title of Marquess Wellesley. Okay, and next we are going to entering into the topic. What is colonial? Here colonial means the British came to conquer the country and establish their rule, subjugating the local Nawabs and Rajas, right? You will see how they established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, bought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export, and you will understand the changes that came about as a consequence, right? So means this is the process how they changed and how they established their rule in India. Okay, so you will see, you will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values and tastes, customs and practices. When the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of political, economic, social and cultural changes, this is process is called as the colonization, right? So how do we know? How do we know means what sources do historians use in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history? In that, the major thing is administration of produces records. How they stored, how they preserved their information, how they collected information from different sectors, and how they gave that information to the next generations. Now we are going to learn that all the things. So in this administration produces records, one important source is the official records of the British administration. The British believed that the act of writing was important, because if we write the information we can preserve it nicely. So every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation had to be clearly written up. Once this was done, things could be properly studied and debated. So this conviction produced an administrative culture of memos, notings and reports. So the British also felt that all the important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. So they set up record rooms attached to all administrative institutions. The villages, Tehsildar's offices, the collectorate, their collectorate office, and the commissioner office, and the provincial secretariats, the law courts, and had their record rooms. Specialized institutions like archives and museums were also established to preserve important records. Means here they are trying to preserve the information in the important records, because so many things were happened, but even though they are trying to restore the things which exactly are important. Okay, so that letters and demos that moved from one branch to another administration and is another in the early years of the 19th century can still be read in the archives. Okay, so that archives they are in India also. In the early years of the 19th century, these documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by calligraphists, that is by those who specialized in the art of beautiful writing. Because all the records are written records only, so preserve that records, the writing should be neat and it should be understandable manner. So for that reason they selected the calligraphists to write beautifully in that books. So by the middle of the 19th century, with the spread of the printing, multiple copies of these records were printed as the proceedings of each government department, each and every sector of the government aspects in the country. So in that way, the National Archives of India came up in the 1920s. Here let me show one picture of archives that was in Delhi in India. When New Delhi was built, the National Museum and the National Archives were both located close to the Viceroyal Palace. This location reflects the importance these institutions had in the British imagination. Okay, see the picture and observe that how the building was strongly constructed, because they need to preserve all the important documents in that building. Okay, so and that important documents also belongs to the different government administration offices, different government strategies and different government schemes what they implemented in the ruling of the people and for the welfare of the people, and different activities belongs to the welfare and development of the country, right? So next, reports to the Home Department. Actually, as per our textbook, in the year of 1946, the colonial government in India was trying to put down a mutiny that broke out on the ships of the Royal Indian Navy. So here is a sample of the kind of reports the Home Department got from different dockyards. Here actually we have 3 different places all over the country. From that places we are getting information to the Home Department. In that, the first one is Bombay. Arrangements have been made for the army to take over ships and establishments. Royal Navy ships are remaining outside the harbour in Bombay. And next, coming to the second place is Karachi. In this Karachi, actually here in this time, Karachi actually is in Pakistan, but this time Pakistan and India was not separated. So in this combined India, Karachi, 301 mutineers are under arrest and a few more strongly suspected are to be arrested. All establishments are under military guard. And next, coming to the Visakhapatnam, that is in combined Andhra Pradesh, and now Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are separated, that you know already. So now Visakhapatnam is come under Andhra Pradesh only. In that Visakhapatnam, the position is completely under control and no violence has occurred. Here the situation was very peacefully and lightly it was handled by the guards. Military guards have been placed on ships and establishments. No further trouble is expected except that a few men may refuse to work. Actually there no violence was occurred. Okay, only some members are from that dockyard, they refused to work in that situation. Okay, these information from the reports to the Home Department that we got in our government administration department, right? So all these records are kept secretly and very safely preserved in our National Archives of India, that was came up in the year 1920. Okay, that location was in Delhi. This is about the colonization and administration produces records. So here I will tell you one example. Normally, colonial government is about the Britishers, how they entered, how they subjugated different rajas and kings in India, and how they changed different aspects of India, socially, politically, economically, and different aspects, how they changed and how they involved in that activities, right? So for that I will tell you a small example. If just think, if you went any new relative's home, or if you joined any new school, that is the first day of your school, how will you feel? Somewhat uneasy, right? Means to get habituated to that environment, it will take some time. Okay, so same in the same way here also, if you went any relative's home, if you visit any relative's house also, for some time you will be quiet, because you need to observe the thing, you need to observe the environment over there, you need to observe the things what are happening, how many members are there, how they are mingling with the others, what they are speaking, what they are doing, how much near to you they are, right? How much close to you they are. Like that you are thinking for some time, you will think, right? After thinking, slowly you will start to move, right? You will start to mingle with others. Means the situation used to get habituated to you. After habituating only, you can start your conversations with that relatives or with your new friends, right? So in the same way here also, the Britishers entered slowly for the trading purpose, right? And after that they stayed for some period here, and they used to get habituated all the things over here, how people are doing, what is the situation in India, what is the resources capacity here, right? So all the things they observed. After observing only, slowly they started to occupying the areas, right? Means here slowly they subjugated the things. Okay, they mutinized the things and subjugated the things. Slowly they entered and they started conversations with different kings, different rajas and nawabs, right? And slowly they try to understand the situations, right? Means how the caste system in the society, how people are living in their society, what their food habits, how they are living, what are their dressing styles, what kind of crops they are growing, how that crops are important to us. Means that in what way we can use that crops. Means in that cash crops are there, food crops are there, different crops are there, because basically India is agriculture based country, right? So these all the things they observed, and after that slowly they started to utilize the things, they started to subjugate the things. Okay, so after that only slowly they established it to occupying the areas one by one. Okay, so slowly they occupied, they ruled for some period, and they did all the things, and they appointed governor generals in India. Different governor generals ruled. Yesterday I discussed that topic also. Different governor generals ruled. In that, Warren Hastings is the first governor general, I said already, right? Lord Mountbatten also, he is means that governor general rule, viceroy rule was ended with Lord Mountbatten, right? In between also so many governor generals came and they ruled, they applied different administration strategies, they implemented, right? So they did so many welfare programs to the people. Okay, but even though they ruled, they occupied, they did so many things, of course they changed our lifestyle, we adapted that. Okay, we used to habituated to do that kind of things, right? So in this way they ruled about the colonization. Means how they started, how they entered, how they started to rule, how they occupied the areas, how they traded, right? How they subjugated the kings and rajas and nawabs in India, right? All these about the colonization in India. Okay, so this is about the topic today's. And now I am going to give you a task for today's, that is collect the information. I said so many kings and nawabs are there in that time. So 1920s, not in 1920s, when the Britishers entered in India from that time onwards till 1946. Who are the Rajas, who are the Nawabs ruled, and who are accepted to subjugate with Britishers, right? Collect the information and come. Okay? Okay, children.